Happy release week of the Tortured Poets Department album.
Ryan Seacrest wrote, "Today should be an international holiday because the Tortured Poets Department just dropped. Happy Taylor Swift release day." Yeah, Friday was a big one for Taylor Swift as she dropped her 16-song collection at 12:01 a.m.
Have you heard of the Tortured Poets Department? Have you been listening, keeping it on loop?
Yes, and the whole world is too.
The Tortured Poets Department, an anthology of new works that reflects events, opinions, and sentiments from a fleeting and fatalistic moment in time. One that was both sensational and sorrowful in equal measure. This period of an author's life is now over. The chapter closed and boarded up. There's nothing to avenge, no scores to settle, once wounds have healed, and upon further reflection, a good number of them turned to be self-inflicted. This writer is of the firm belief that our tears become holy in the form of ink on a page. Once we have spoken our saddest story, we can be free of it. And all that's left behind is the tortured poetry. So the tortured poetry was released at midnight. And Josh Gad was loving the opener with Post Malone writing, "Damn it, the girls and I can't even get past the first song because we are replaying it. It's so damn good." Well, Josh, playing Fortnite over and over again helped it set a new record on Spotify, yeah, for the most streams in 24 hours.
We declare Charlie Puth should be a bigger artist.
And Dan and Shay agreed with the lyrics of the title track. Jack Antonoff documented the day they made track 4, Down Bad, in studio.
But might stay down bad.
The recording of number 7, Fresh Out of the Slammer, was highlighted with some lovely flowers.
Fresh out the slammer.
Florence Welch and Taylor had a lovely time recording.
Corridor.
Florence wrote on Instagram that she was honored to be on track 8 in this department. Sophie Turner highlighted track 10.
Who's afraid of little old me?
Sabrina Carpenter said track 13, I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, was making her dang day. That song really jumped out at me big time.
Cause I can do it with a broken heart.
Gracie Abrams loved track 14.
A message to the smallest man who ever lived.
Now, if people started listening to the album right at midnight, they would have been done at like 106, 107 a.m. So they almost would have gotten through another listen. And then at 2 a.m., boom. It's a 2 a.m. surprise. The Tortured Poets Department is a secret double album. I'd written so much tortured poetry in the past 2 years, I wanted to share it with all of you, so here's the second installment of TTPD, the anthology. 15 extra songs, and now the story isn't mine anymore, it's all yours. Rachel Zegler tweeted, 15 more songs, she's insane. Jack shared some studio footage of Taylor recording The Black Dog, the opening track on the second half of the album.
I just don't understand.
Yeah, so 31 songs, so over 2 hours of Taylor Swift. Now Flavor Flav listened to it all, and he tweeted, "The best art is created from struggle and sadness. That anthology is sad and real and Taylor. It makes me want to punch anyone that hurt that woman's feelings, but no one can punch them worse than Taylor and her piano and pen. Happy she found happiness." A.R. Rahman wrote, "All the best, Taylor Swift, on your latest album." For his actual post, Jack Antonoff, who co-produced and co-wrote this album, wrote, "My favorite work we have made together." Really? Whoa. "Made in the most wild, unhinged moment, all the pain distilled in this album and all the laughter that came out of it will hold those days in the studio forever as the most inspiring of my life. I adore this album and the way it came together. TTPD forever." Now I could start with the Friday streaming numbers and do Saturday, Sunday, yeah. Let's just go to how did it end? And in this context, it's Wednesday. So where are we at on Wednesday? Well, today, the Tortured Poets Department is the first album in Spotify's history to pass 1 billion streams in a week. And Taylor still has 2 more days to add to that streaming total for the first week. Like still Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah, still has 2 more days to go. Whew. Now reviews, Taylor posted some of the great ones. She wrote that reading Rolling Stone calling it an instant classic was the closest she's come to her heart exploding. Taylor also posted the link to the Times' 5-star review, along with the similar starred review from the iPaper. Haven't heard of that. She shared that The Independent found the album irresistible. Variety called her genius. Taylor shared Billboard's review, despite them calling it messy, and they did call it triumphant, of course. Hits Daily Double and Uprocks. Now Taylor didn't post some others. The New York Times said Taylor needs an edit button. Pitchfork gave it a 6.6, saying it's unruly, unedited, and even a little tortured. Vulture called it performative, but I don't really see how it's a insult, because like some of it is performative, like she's taking on characters and stuff like that in songs, so that's performative, so I don't really see that's a bad thing. Anyways, The Atlantic says she's having quality control issues. NME declared it a misstep, giving it 3 out of 5. Pace gave it 3.6, and that's not out of 5, that's out of 10. Whew. You'll notice that the byline just says Paste staff, and you don't have to guess, why they did that. Yeah, they put out a statement saying, when Paste reviewed Lover, the writer was sent threats of violence from readers who disagreed with the work. We care more about the safety of our staff than a name attached to an article. Well, here we go. I'm about to talk about this album. So I've only listened to this album twice so far. The first time was when I was putting together the story, like grabbing all the pieces of the story. I just had it on, so I had it on the background, but I was making a conscious effort to listen. But yeah, I will at some point, 31 songs, really sit down and listen to it properly. I love albums, and if you're gonna make an album that's 31 songs, then I'm judging an album by 31 songs.
How much side did you think I had? Did you?
The only person who's made like a double album that sustained itself recently, it's the last 10 years, is Miranda Lambert, The Weight of These Wings. That's the only double album I've heard that sustains itself. 31 songs. I don't know if anyone's maintained interest in an album for 31 songs. So it's pretty much impossible. So no, Taylor does not do it. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that just kind of sounds the same, and there's not that many amazing songs on this. I get what people are saying that like, it sounds a lot of like Taylor that we've heard before, and that's to be expected. Like this is her 11th or 12th album. So yeah, I mean the fact that Taylor's maintained it for this long and now she's starting to repeat herself a little bit, that's to be expected. But yeah, I am surprised that she's putting this out as a work as it is, because I don't think the songs are as good as they are in other albums. There's only a couple songs that stood out to me on that first listen. It would be
Into some bar called the Black Dog. You can even do it with a broken heart.
just give this album on a first listen a B minus. I was gonna go C plus, but I'll be generous at this point, say B minus. Okay? What are your thoughts?